Hi people, just continuing on from my last video, I guess. I think I was talking about um, one of my last jobs as a call center agent. I was working, it was an incoming call center where I did um, troubleshooting for people's home internet. So I took that as a challenge. I thought that if I could expose myself to something that I was having trouble with, which was telephone anxiety and anxiety talking to people that I didn't know, and I thought that if I could shock my system into getting through that I could reverse my social anxiety and sort of break out of this depression that I was in. And it went completely the opposite of what I wanted it to, and I think it really increased my anxiety, and I had trouble sleeping, I had trouble eating. I would have like a knot in my stomach all the time, and I would be constantly thinking about that job. So I ended up quitting my first one I took like that, and then I took on a second one where I was handling. It was work for a trucking company, and I would handle breakdowns. Truckers would call in, and then I would work as kind of a middleman between them and garages that would fix the trucks and all kinds of stuff like that. And it was better, but this sort of, I had the same problems where I would be constantly just so much anxiety that I ended up quitting. And for a time now I've been out of a job, which and that itself, being unemployed, really increases my anxiety and really has decreased my self-esteem and my confidence. And right now I feel a lot of embarrassment when I'm speaking to people, especially even people I know that I haven't seen in a while, like family members right now, and old friends that I've had. I don't want to sound sexist here, but as a man, we kind of define ourselves by what we do, and it's always the first question you ask someone you're meeting or someone you haven't seen in a while is, so what do you do? And when you don't have an answer to that, you feel like you're worthless. And because of that, I've really drawn into myself even more, and I've felt this increased anxiety. And about 6 months ago, I finally looked for treatment. I went to a physician. First of all, I didn't have a physician. I hadn't seen a doctor since my teenage years. So it had probably been about maybe 15 years since I had even been in for a checkup. So I had to get a family member to find a doctor for me, because in my area there's it's actually difficult to get a family doctor. There's waiting lists, and it's kind of like the paradox of having a social anxiety disorder is that you need help, but you're also too afraid and anxious to get the help, and just taking the first step is kind of a big deal. And so I went to the doctor, and he's kind of an older gentleman, probably I'd say 70s to late 70s, and to me he didn't seem too up to date on social anxiety disorder. He didn't even mention that name. He talks about my problems as nerves, kind of almost like an old-fashioned term, and I described my problems to him, my anxiety and depression, and he prescribed me with paroxetine, which is also called Paxil, and I've been taking that. Which is good, but at the same time it's done very little for my anxiety, and it's also got some undesirable side effects. So went to him, and then I also saw an employment counselor, which was also kind of a difficult task for me. Anything where I'm speaking about myself is always hard for me. So I saw her, and even before we got into discussing professional opportunities for me, she advised that I seek further treatment for the anxiety, because that was the thing that's been really holding me back. So she advised that I see my family doctor again and get him to change my prescription to something that would deal more with the anxiety. And so I went back to him, and I told him that I was seeking a drug that was more geared towards reducing anxiety and not just the depression. And all he did was increase my dosage of Paxil, which really didn't help much. And after a few weeks of that, I eventually went back to my original dosage, which was a low dosage, I guess, of it, because he said he increased it a little bit, and he said we could increase it even more and more, which I feel would do almost nothing. So and since then, I'm doing a lot more research on the disorder, and looks like I'm running out of time here. So I will continue this video later.